Hi, it's Janelle with Parsnips and Parsimony, and today I want to talk about the KonMari method of tidying up your house. Many of you know that last year it was my husband's goal to purge 1,000 items out of our home in 1 year. But when we started that project, we thought that was going to be so hard to accomplish. But as we started cleaning out, we realized that we were going to well surpass 1,000 items. And at the end of the year 2015, we purged over 16,000 items from our home. And I'm not talking about like one tiny paper clip here or there. I'm talking about large items. 16,000 items. That was amazing. And after that, I felt so much lighter and I felt like I could breathe and clean my house. But when I discovered this book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I realized that I still have a lot farther to go in the line of organizing and tidying up my house. One of the bloggers and vloggers that I follow had actually recommended this book, and she had done a review on it, and I said, you know, that sounded like something that I would like. So I put a request into my library, and this book came in about a month ago. And I have to say, I was really surprised by how tiny it was. Look how little that is. But, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, because there is a ton of great content in here. In fact, this is not one of those books that you can just sit down, read through the whole thing and say, yeah, that was a great book. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is one that if you wanted to make a difference in how you clean and organize and tidy, you need to read this little by little and start to implement the way she recommends as you're reading along. So this book took me 3-4 weeks to read and to work through it and try to apply what I'm reading. And how did it work for me? Well, I realized I have a lot farther to go in the line of tidying up and cleaning up. And although I don't agree with everything in this book, because this is definitely not written from a Christian perspective, but there are a lot of good takeaway points that you can use. So she has a sequence of decluttering that she recommends. First is tackling your clothing, and she suggests taking everything, all your clothing items, and put them in one large pile. And she knows this is going to make a mess, but she wants you to realize how much of clothing that you, or whatever item you are decluttering, how much of it you have. And then you pretty much go through and you say, does this bring me happiness when I see it, or does it not? And we all know that we have those items in our closet that we just don't either we don't care for, or we're keeping it because, oh, well, we might need to use this for this outfit. But you know what, in all reality, how many times do you actually wear that item that you're like, I can't quite part with it? I know I'm just like that. I have these items and I'm like, well, I sort of like it, but I never wear it. Why don't I wear it? Maybe it's the color, maybe it's because it's short sleeve, not long sleeve, all different reasons. And she said, we need to let go of these items that aren't bringing us happiness, because eventually they become these heavy weights on us. And instead of being joyful and happy, we become this person that is just burdened down by stuff. So after you've gone through your clothing, the next thing she recommends is going through your books, followed by miscellaneous items in the house, and then finally the mementos. And the reason she doesn't want you to get hung up on those mementos first is because if you start there, you won't ever be able to, you know, necessarily gain a lot of traction, because those things you're keeping for a reason. So that's why she recommends that order of clothing, books, miscellaneous things in your house, and then your mementos. I did not get as far as my mementos because I've only been working on this for a month, and this is going to take a lot longer than just a month of doing this. I did start with my clothing, and I probably purged maybe 1, 2, 3 bags worth of clothing. There are some things that I don't care for, but I ended up keeping because my daughter is pretty much in the same size as I am, or she's going to be in that size very shortly, and I thought that it would probably be rather foolish of me to get rid of some of these items that she will probably use in just a little amount of time. So I know how much she says you really need to take your items and then just get rid of them. But in the case of not being a cheapskate, but being careful with my money, I decided there were some things I was going to keep for my daughter, and then if she wasn't going to use it at that point, then we would move it onto a new home. One of those things that has been more of a struggle for me is getting rid of things that they mean something to me. I don't necessarily want them, but I'm afraid if I get rid of them, I'm going to lose those memories. And that has been one of those things that I've been working on over the past month. And I'll show you one of those items here because this is going to be moved onto a new home. This item here is an adorable bell, and this belonged to my grandparents that they got for either their 40th or 50th anniversary, and I know how much my grandmother treasured her bells. Now this belonged to my mom. After my grandma died, my mom had this, and she was ready to move it on. Well, when I was going through her boxes, I was like, oh, you can't get rid of this, you know, and so I'll take it. But the problem is, it's been sitting on my dresser, and I've been like, it doesn't bring me joy. It brings me more sadness seeing it, remembering my grandma. So I decided I wanted to find a new home to someone who would appreciate it and enjoy it more than I would, and hopefully it won't burden that person down, but it'll bring them a lot of joy seeing it. So I contacted my cousin, and she's going to be taking this bell and giving it a new home, and I'm going to be mailing this out to her. And I'm just so happy that I can give her something that she will be able to remember my grandma by, and I am being released from holding on to this item. Now I know I could have just forgotten about it and not, you know, it could have been in my mom's box, she could have gotten rid of it and I could have never thought of it. But it was one of those, again, it's an emotional journey that when you're purging through a lot of this stuff, particularly since we had already gotten rid of those 16,000 items, that was the easy part. Now's the hard part, and I keep going back to this emotional journey, but it really truly is an emotional journey for some people like it is for me. There's definitely a lot more great content in this book. There is no way that I could actually cover everything that she has so well written in this book. So I would highly encourage you to go to your library and check this book out because there's a lot of great content in it, and hopefully it will help you as much as it helped me. I will continue to be doing this throughout my house, and again, plan on it taking a while to go through all of your things, but it's definitely a journey worth going on, and you just feel better as you're going through these items and saying, I really am happy with this item, instead of, oh, it's okay, and just being able to let go of some of those items that are just okay. They're not really bringing you joy. It's all right not to have a ton of stuff in your house. If you like this video and you like to declutter, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video review with your friends, because this would be so much more fun to go on with a bunch of your friends, and then you guys can compare notes and see how many bags of things that you can get rid of. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you for our next video.